Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. When are we going to get to a point where Brooke isn't crying anymore? This woman has been crying for about 2 or 3 weeks straight. And, yeah, I'm just kind of wondering when that's going to end. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting there saying, like, a breakup, a marriage, and stuff like that isn't painful, isn't sad, but almost every single scene that I've seen her in, she's been crying. It's just like, it's a lot. Like, So we got Steffi, we got Thomas that's sitting there, reassuring um Taylor that, Brooke is no more, you're better for him. The usual psycho babble stuff that they do, meddling and stuff like that. Oh, you're so much better for Rich than for our dad than Brooke. Brooke is a bad person, blah 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 blah. We've been like going through this for the past 2 or 3 weeks, give or take. Now of course, you got Hope that's pleading Brooke's case. Once again takes responsibility for her part in this whole thing. And it's pretty much the same stuff that they said yesterday. Um, Nothing really changed, and eventually she leaves. It just got to a point where it's like, listen, I get it. Ridge has done some stuff too, but I mean, and I hate Smith there repeating myself. One of the things that I don't like about these soaps sometimes is that they will literally sit there and give you the same message. And a lot of times when I'm sitting there doing a review, I wind up repeating myself. I'm not a fan of that. But you have, and I know I'm sitting there saying these kids, they're grown adults, but you have these, you have these kids' parents, these parents' kids, yeah, these parents' kids that are meddling in their parents' lives and their relationships. And it's like, if everyone just sit there and take a step back, like there's one point where after Hope leaves, Steffi and Ridge are there. And, Steffi was like, oh, is that Brooke? That's not they trying to pressure you into, being back together with her? And I'm like, Steffi, you've been pressuring him to be with Taylor. You and Thomas have been sitting there pressuring him to be with Taylor. So what the hell are you sitting there talking about? Oh, that damn Brooke sitting there pressuring our father because you're doing what exactly? And the sad part is that, Steffi's doing all this stuff and Taylor's just sitting back, just watching it all happen. And she's a grown ass adult, okay? And she said, there's times when she'll sit there and be like, well, guys, let's not sit there and pressure your father. And it's like, could you do it with a little more emphasis, like you actually mean it? You know? And you see Stephanie sitting there pressuring Ridge. And Taylor's just like, I'm like, so you're okay with your daughter pressuring your ex-husband to be back together with you? That's fine with you? Okay, sure. Now at some point, well, before we get to that, so Deacons makes a play for Brooke, who is still crying. And I just looking at this whole thing, I'm like, bro, I get it. You still are in love with her. Let's think about this for a minute. She's in a really bad and vulnerable place. And what you're doing is trying to take advantage of her while she's at a low point to be with you. Like, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of find that to be a pretty scumbag move. Um, and of course, Brooke turns him down. Ridge is the love of my life, always has my heart, blah 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 blah. Um, and after that, he leaves, and he's like, I'm always there for you. It's almost like I don't want to sit there and say it's like the last ditch effort, but it is somewhat the last ditch effort. It's like, oh well, if you need me, I'm here for you. I always got your back. Please call me. That's literally what he's sitting there saying. And, he leaves and Hope gets back and Hope is like, I tried to, help the relationship and like I tried to, help mend your relationship and stuff. And, Brooke is like, well, how did that go? It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you okay with your daughter trying to plead your case? You're a grown ass woman. You should be sitting there talking to him yourself, not sending your daughter and your son in law to sit there and try to reason with Ridge. No. You don't get these other people to sit there and fight your battles. That's your job. Sheila. Sheila, 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 Sheila. Let's play a game. Let's start a sentence. And I want y'all to sit there and try to guess how the sentence is going to end. Sheila does what Sheila does best in the beginning of this episode. And Sheila does. And after that, some guy comes in. Well, after she's about to start, she's leaving. This guy comes in. I don't remember his name is Craig, Greg, or something with a K. I can't remember. It's like, oh, like what's going on? How you doing? Is everything to your liking or something like that? Like what I don't understand is that when he kept coming at her a couple of times, he was like, oh, we want to know when you're gonna be leaving. I'm like, well, she's a paying guest. Why does it matter? Like I never quite understood that. Like I know there's a point where he was like, oh well, you just kind of want to know when you're leaving. Like, is she not paying for her time being there? So why does it matter? I mean, I would sit there and think that you would want somebody who's there who is giving you continuous business, aka continuous money. And at first, he made that little offhand comment like, "Oh, I see you made this kind of like your residence." I'm like, and she's paying, so again, what's the problem? Oh, I just want to know where you're going. Excuse me? Like he literally sat there and said, "Oh, so like where you going? Why?" She's a grown ass woman. You asking her like where's she going? Like, are you kidding me? So she, well, actually, to tell you the truth, she just kind of invites herself into Steffi's place, and Thomas is sitting there. He's still looking for a new place or whatever. And he sees Sheila just walk on in. He's like, Sheila's like, oh, her, your mother's assistant told me that, she would be here. I'm like, yo, Taylor, the first thing you need to do when you get back to the office is get a new damn assistant. Okay, she was sleeping on the job or whatever she was doing, where Sheila just walked right on in. And now she's sitting there literally telling you, well, she's literally sitting there saying to whoever walks in, oh, Taylor is at her house. She's at Steffi's house, or she's this place, or she's that place. Are, are assistants supposed to do that? I mean, I would sit there and think, okay, assistants would sit there and say like, oh, well, they stepped out the office for a little bit. Not giving the exact location. That's just like, what? So anyway, she walks in, and Thomas is like, "Yo, listen, you're not welcome here." And then of course, he's like, "You shot my mom," and this whole thing, like, way this whole thing transpired was kind of because of you, because you shot her, and she left, and my dad turned towards Brooke for support and stuff, and like, this is all you. Sheila can't help herself but to sit there and start to expose herself. It's because of me that your parents are back together. It's because of what I did. Oh, no, no, no. You can finish that sentence. Please share with the classroom. What did you do exactly? Um, it's like Sheila just can't help herself because, she's, well, crazy. Um, so obviously tomorrow's going to be Cliffhanger Friday. And, I saw the promos. And sitting there asking, they're sitting there wondering, like, is Thomas going to do the right thing? Because he finds out what Sheila does. And, the question is Thomas going to do the right thing, or is he going to do the wrong thing, or, whatever? We all know what Thomas is going to do. Okay, let's just be very clear about that. We all know what Thomas is going to do. There is no way in hell that Thomas is going to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, it was Sheila that Spike Brooks drank and caused her to drink." So you guys should sit there and say that. I mean, I'm still Team Taylor, but I'm gonna sit there and say that because no, I can't even finish that sentence. No, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. But you know what? I'm gonna sit there and ask everyone else. Do you think that Thomas is going to do? Okay, let me just try to have this serious look on my face. Okay. Do you think that Thomas is going to do the right thing? Do you think that Thomas is going to do the right thing and you know expose Sheila and let everyone know that Sheila was the one that spiked or switched did the switcheroo, whatever, and is the reason why Brooke is drinking? Or do you think he's going to keep that information for himself, to himself? That's the question. Yeah, it took a lot to actually say that with a straight face, but yep, I did it. Anyway, I think that's about it for the most part. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.